Control.
True Train 88. This ain't no ordinary ride. We roll with legacy, love, and fire in our bones. Let's go. True Train 88. This ain't no ordinary ride. We roll with legacy, love, and fire in our bones. Let's go. Let's go. Boots on the ground, banjo in mind. True Train rolling through the promised land. Chief Mike lit the torch, now sheepdog lead. Matriarch's grace, yeah, that's all we need. Fatal clan like a spirit in the wind. Bass thumping like the truth setting in. We don't follow trends, we follow the flame. True Train 88, remember the name. True Train 88, rolling through the night, guided by the chief. We're rising to the light, with the matriarch's grace. We stand as one. The power of the sheepdog's love, our rising sun. OCO.
Welcome everybody to the show. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. September 3rd, 2025. I'm glad to have everybody here at the War Room. We got a few special guests, as you can see. We got Mrs. Sheepdog, Nadine, Birdlove, Ubs, Diane. And first time on the show tonight is GANDALPH Eggstein. Glad to have you, sir. Really look forward to hearing about the eggs.
Cluck, cluck.
Gandalf's got hairy eggs.
Oh no, don't go there, please.
That was not supposed to be a Rocky Mountain Oyster reference. That's all I'm saying.
See, Sheepdog, you got him started, dude. Come on.
You said you wanted to laugh a little bit.
We're gonna laugh, but I didn't think you were gonna start 10 seconds into it by picking on Gandalf.
I'll jump in straight off, right out the bat, dude. Like I'll jump straight into full blood.
Amen, brother. Amen. We gotta laugh every day.
Yes. Definitely.
So we got, of course, the Mushroom Lady's on with us. We got Kim. She's running a little bit behind, but we're going to present the news, and we're glad everybody's here with us today. Was definitely something to remember with the information that's been coming out, and the lines have been drawn pretty much. We have Thomas Massey bringing forth pretty much forcing the hand of Congress to have to put their signature or no signature on a vote to release the files. So we have, of course, Mike Johnson jumping in there and letting them know that they don't want to vote to put their names on there because it may reveal that they don't really give a shit about Epstein. But let me get right here. Let's go ahead and get into this show real quick because we got a little bit to cover. Yeah, there's GANDALPH Eggstein. Here he is. I don't know if hairy eggs is trademarked by cheating or not.
They said they're not saving on YouTube.
They're not seeing what?
Oh yeah, it's on.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this real quick. Let's set this up. Hopefully everything runs fine. I don't know who posted those crystals, but those are nice.
Oh, that was Amy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right, so yesterday was 9-2. We have can y'all see screen right here? Let me make this a little bit bigger here. Right there. So right here we got Thomas Massey. It's filed. Your congressman can now sign the discharge petition to force a vote on binding legislation to release the Epstein files. And this was September 2nd, 2025. Motion to discharge a committee from the consideration of a resolution to the clerk of the House of Representatives pursuant to clause 2 of rule, I think that's 20 something. I can't. Thomas Massey moves to discharge the committee on rules from the consideration of the resolution, House Resolution 581, entitled a resolution providing for the consideration of the bill HR 185 to advance responsible policies, which was referred to said committee on July 15, 2025, in support of which the undersigned members of the House of Representatives affixed their signatures to wit. So we want signatures. We want to force a vote so we can get the signatures so you can see. So in response to that, we got Mike Johnson playing checkers. He thinks he's smart. Oh, MAGA Mike Johnson. But MAGA Mike Johnson isn't MAGA. Yeah, I'm live on Rumble. Speaker Johnson just scheduled this meaningless vote to provide political cover for those members who do not support our bipartisan, meaning both sides, legislation to force the release of the Epstein files. Here we got the House just added a bill to the floor schedule this week that would direct the House Oversight Committee to continue its ongoing investigation and ongoing investigation into the Epstein. It comes as the GOP leaders are trying to stave off a discharge petition. In other words, they don't want the Republicans on record not supporting this because they got midterms coming up. But nobody's voting for anybody that takes money from AIPAC or isn't in support of release of the Epstein list. So we got the White House. We just shared that. So they had an announcement today on the White House lawn. I mean, not White House lawn. That was let me go to this real quick. We're gonna move this out of the way for you. As you can see right here. All right. We got live Epstein victims press conference at the DC Capitol, and at the same time, Fox didn't cover it. Neither did RSBN. Covered this meeting right here, as if we really cared about the president of Poland showing up today. I mean, was that on anybody's bucket list? So we're going to play a little bit of that hearing, and at the same time, while this is taking place, they had military flyovers celebrating the circle jerk for Poland. But here we got on the ground, boots on the ground. Status Coop News is showing us this angle right here. It's about 2 hours. You're going to hear from the victims, and you're going to hear more stuff at the end. But I'm going to try to consolidate this a little bit. I'm going to cut out a little bit in the middle, and we're going to go a little bit in the front, a little bit in the middle, and we're going to go towards the end, finish it off. But at the same time, over here on the left, I'll be playing exactly what's taking place while this hearing's taking place. The president of Poland's coming in to shake hands with politicians. So let's go ahead and get started right here. But hold on real quick.
Pursuit of justice. I want to thank Sarah Drury on my team for working with them. Above all, I want to thank the
But before we do that, let me go ahead and play this little clip. This is probably going to help set it up as well.
Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion. He could make a model's career. What I didn't realize then was that once he lured someone like me in, he could also destroy my career if I did not do what he wanted me to do. In New York City, countless young women were abused by him. Everyone in the industry knew, yet he was too powerful to stop. He had friends in all over entertainment and arts, and his value to those friends made him untouchable. But I ask you, why? Who was he to our government that he was allowed to operate openly for decades? Why was he allowed to sponsor visas for young models, using their immigration status as leverage to abuse them and silence them? Epstein was not just a serial predator. He was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew this. Many participated, and many profited. And yet he was protected. I know what it's like to be trafficked to others. And I know that the files contain the names of powerful men who have been shielded because of their fame or their fortune. So I stand here today, not just for myself, but for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we are not asking for pity. We are demanding accountability. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors? Transparency is justice. Release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law. And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that. Because history is watching, and so are the women who will come after us. Thank you.
government. We're here not as partisans, we're here as patriots. We begin the work of bringing this country together, progressives, independents, moderates, and yes, MAGA supporters, to demand truth and justice. A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core. Americans are asking a very simple question. How is it possible that in the richest, most powerful country in the world, there are corrupt special interest forces, both foreign or domestic, that are preventing the release, that have a stranglehold on our government, that are preventing the release of the full Epstein files? There is something that is rotten in Washington. Less than 1% of these files have been released. We are demanding today on the discharge petition that all of the files be released. We know we have 212 Democrats, and we have 4 Republicans, courageous Republicans like Thomas Massey, Nancy Mace, who was so emotional yesterday after talking to the survivors, Congresswoman Boebert, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. We need just 2 more signatures to force the release. So we gather here on the steps of the Capitol to confront these corrupt forces. Today we stand with survivors. We stand against big money. We stand to protect America's children. That is really what this is about. I now want to bring up my Republican colleague, Thomas Massey. He has shown so much courage, so much leadership. And I saw some people, I said the same thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has shown so much courage on this issue. I saw some people when I was coming here calling her name. We've got to stop that. We've got to stop the partisanship on this issue. This is an issue where they both have shown real courage and leadership, and I appreciate them joining us today. Congressman Massey.
Anyone making this a left versus right issue is the problem. This is a bipartisan. This is for children and women and men that are trafficked by the millions each year worldwide. There we go.
I want to thank my colleague Ro Khanna for co-leading this effort to bring transparency and justice for these victims. I hope my colleagues are watching this press conference. I want them to think, what if this was your sister? What if this was your daughter? When these survivors speak, the Washington establishment is asking the American public to believe something that is not believable. They're asking you to believe that two individuals created hundreds of victims and they acted alone, and that the DOJ has no idea of who else might have been involved, that nobody else did anything that rose to a criminal enterprise. The American people know that's not true. Now, the Speaker of the House just offered a fig leaf to my colleagues. They're going to vote on a non-binding resolution today that does absolutely nothing. I appreciate the efforts of my colleague James Comer, who's leading the Oversight Committee. They may find some information, but they're allowing the DOJ to curate all of the information that the DOJ is giving them. If you've looked at the pages they've released so far, they're heavily redacted. Some pages are entirely redacted. And 97% of this is already in the public domain. So I'm calling on my colleagues. Be one of the next two who sponsors this discharge petition. I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C. So today we're standing with these survivors. We're giving them a voice. And I want to close by thanking them. They are brave. I hope they encourage other survivors to come forward and to tell their stories, not just of Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell, but anywhere in the country. This is a message that we are sending. This is a litmus test. Can we drain the swamp? Are there people who are outside of the reach of the law? I don't think there should be. So hopefully today we'll get 2 more signatures on the discharge petition. That's all we need. And with that, I want to introduce the bravest woman in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I find it interesting that the 3 Republican co-sponsors are women. These are women standing up for women. And Marjorie was the first to do it. And I think she deserves all of our gratitude for breaking that barrier and leading the way for the other Republicans. Hopefully they can find their spines as well. And with that, I give you Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes. Good morning. This is my 5th year in Congress, and this is the largest press conference that I've seen since I've been here. And this is because this is an issue that matters so much to Americans. This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries. It's an issue that Republicans and Democrats should never fight about. As a matter of fact, it's such an important issue that it should bring us all together. It's grieved me to watch the arguments and debates take place among my colleagues and even the administration. I think this is something that was worth fighting for. You see, the women behind me are going to tell you stories that you've never heard before. These are unimaginable horrors that they've lived with for their entire lives since they were very, very young. But these are also similar stories that many children, teenagers, women, and even men are enduring nightmares right now as we speak. You see, these women have been fighting since the 1990s. I heard one woman tell us yesterday since 1996. And they have carried with them shame. But I want to tell you something. The shame does not fall on these brave, courageous women. The shame falls on every single person that coldly turned a blind eye to their abuse. The shame falls on every single person that enabled it. The shame falls on every single person that took money to continue it. And the shame falls on the people in power over the past several decades that protected the monster, Jeffrey Epstein, and his cabal that continued a nightmare. Those people deserve the shame. And today we are coming forward and we are going to fight like hell for these women, because we have to fight like hell for those that are enduring sexual abuse and are living in a prison of shame. Anyone that is being abused, it is not your fault. You should live with no guilt or fear or shame. All of the fault belongs to the evil people that do these things to the innocent. This is the most important fight we can wage here in Congress, is fighting for innocent people that never receive justice. And the women behind me have never received justice. And do you want to know why? It's because Jeffrey Epstein somehow was able to walk among the most rich, powerful people, not only in America, but foreign countries. Yesterday, I heard countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and even Israel, and other countries. The truth needs to come out, and the government holds the truth. The cases that are sealed hold the truth. Jeffrey Epstein's estate holds the truth. The FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA holds the truth. And the truth we are demanding come out on behalf of these women, but also as a strong message to every innocent child, teenager, woman, and man that is being held captive in abuse. This should never happen in America, and it should never be a political issue that divides us. And I want to thank Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey for doing something brave, crossing political boundaries for a very important fight. And I'm honored to join both of them. And I'm honored that Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert signed the discharge petition along with myself. And I asked my Republican colleagues not to choose just one path for justice and transparency and accountability, but I asked my Republican colleagues to choose every path for justice and accountability and transparency. And with that, I'd like to bring back Congressman Ro Khanna to start this important press conference. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman Green, for your courage and for being here. And thank you again to Congressman Massey for co-leading it. I now would like to introduce two people who have been fighting this for decades. They haven't had their voice heard. Victims haven't been heard. They haven't just been on this in the last few months. They've been doing this in the wilderness for years. And they are really models of courage. Bradley Edwards and Brittany Henderson, who are the attorneys for the victims. Thank you.
Thank you, Ro and Thomas Massey. I really appreciate you putting forth this discharge petition. It's tough to understand that we have to be here because this doesn't seem like a partisan issue. This is an issue, sex trafficking and sexual abuse transcends politics. We as Americans expect equal protection under the law, and there can be no doubt that Jeffrey Epstein received far greater protection than any of the victims that he abused for years. In 2008, Courtney Wild walked into my office because she was a part of a federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, where all she wanted was the government to talk to her. Little did she know the government had worked out a secret immunity deal for Jeffrey Epstein, and we had to file Jane Doe's versus United States of America to prove that Jeffrey Epstein worked out an illegal non-prosecution agreement with the government. That was 2008. It took us 10 years battling the government pro bono for the judge to ultimately determine that the victims' rights were violated. The government has mistreated them after Jeffrey Epstein mistreated them. We then filed civil lawsuits against Ghislaine Maxwell, which has resulted in her being in prison. Our civil lawsuits led to her prosecution. We filed lawsuits against Jeffrey Epstein, against his estate, and against two financial institutions, JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank, that proved that they knowingly provided the financial infrastructure for a sex trafficking operation. Unfortunately, all of the documents and evidence that we have worked so hard to gather hide behind protective orders, confidentiality agreements, and bank secrecy laws. That is why this discharge petition is so important. While we have seen the documents, you haven't. And when you see the documents, you're going to be appalled. And the American people deserve to see everything. When you sign this discharge petition, it should mean nothing is off limits. That means the documents in the possession of the CIA should be made available. Those in possession of the FBI going back decades should be made available. The SEC, financial records in the possession of FinCEN should be made available. Everybody knows that evil flourishes in the darkness. Corruption flourishes in secrecy. It is time right now to make a difference for the women that are behind me right now. They have been courageous and fought through this whole thing. Whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, this one is an easy call. You're an American who cares about equal rights and equal protection under the law. If you care about these women, if you care about our country, and you care about this issue, this should pass with flying colors. I really appreciate everybody being here. Woo!
administration. And I think in addition to thanking the wonderful congressmen and women who are here today, we need to thank the women, and not just the women who are going to speak, but the other women who are standing behind them, along with other lawyers, Sidra Nepali, and people who have been fighting for a very, very long time for the world to give this kind of attention to an issue that it should have had forever. This administration has the opportunity to do what the past administrations did not do. This administration can either stand with the victims and stand for the victims, or it can continue to hurt the victims, like has happened in the past. We aren't here just to ask for transparency.
She said the past she wants to also bring forward what the past administrations didn't do. We got to keep in mind that was Biden, fake Biden, last 4 years. Trump, 2017 to 2020, didn't do nothing. Obama, Bush, Clinton. And then, so this has been going on for several presidencies. This isn't just coming about right now because of who's in power, right?
Here too to ask for protection. The women here represent hundreds of other women who we have spoken to, many of whom were trafficked from other countries, from Eastern European countries where.
So you can barely hear her. So I'm going to go to some of the victims come forward. They tell their stories. We played that in the chat this morning. But I want to go to, as you can see over here at the same time that this is taking place, they're over here doing circle jerk with Poland. So we're going to shut that off. We're going to go to this. All right. Okay, that's not what I was playing. Why'd it change my video?
Fooled the majority of Americans, or at least a plurality, into thinking that he would be their savior. He would be doing something about prices. He would actually be responding.
Yeah, nice try, YouTube. So the battle lines have been drawn. Who's for the traffic children and who's not? We're fixing to find out.
That's right.
Hey, don't vote for anybody that takes money from AIPAC if y'all are still voting. And Epstein. And especially don't vote for the ones that don't support this or any kind of justice being served. If you want to keep kicking the can, but then you want somebody to vote for you in midterms, yeah, all right. We're done with that. So we got here. We're going to go towards the end of it again.
Wait. I want to say something about supporting, and this is tongue in cheek, but it's true. If you're giving money to Act Blue or Red Wind or whatever the ones are, it's just complete theft. You should buy dog treats instead. I'm just saying.
That's it.
I'm just saying, spend the money well.
I like that. That's right.
There you go. So we want to go towards the end because there's some more questions that were asked of and statements made at the very end I want to show. And then the questions that Thomas Massey took where he drops more information on who's in.
Look, this country is divided, is exhausted. This is one thing that we can come together on. Yeah. And I was very clear with Thomas. This is not against President Trump. I would like nothing more than a Truth Social post for him after this press conference saying just release the files. Yes. Be with Nancy Connor. This is about something much
all right,
deeper.
Everybody look for that Truth Social post from Trump.
Yeah, I don't think
and it should say release the files.
No.
All right, we'll see.
It is about bringing this country together to stand for America's kids, to restore trust, and to move this country forward. So thank you to the survivors for helping us do that. Now I want to introduce Margaret Hilligreen.
For everyone watching at home, I think it's important to put yourself in these women's shoes. As you're questioning, why can't they just name the names? What you don't realize is they just told their stories of being raped and being abused, being victimized, being manipulated, being coerced, and basically held in a prison of captivity of sexual abuse while they were young teenagers and extremely young, vulnerable women. And in Jeffrey Epstein's home and the places they went with him, they saw the most powerful people in the world in his pictures, and they saw him with those people. Can you imagine how terrifying it would be to name names like that? These are some of the richest, most powerful people in the world that could sue these women into poverty and homelessness. Yeah, it's a scary thing to name names, but I will tell you, I'm not afraid to name names. And so if they want to give me a list, I will walk in that Capitol on the House floor and I'll say every damn name that abused these women. I can do that for them, and I'd be proud to do it. Now, another thing, this is not about politics, and this is a boiling point in American history where the American people, just like Roe just said, there's become two Americas. There's the America for the rich and the powerful and the elite, where they never face any struggles or problems and never experience what real America goes through. And then there's forgotten America that faces all the problems and deals with all the issues and never gets justice for being sexually assaulted and raped by a monster. It shouldn't exist anymore, and people are sick of it. So let's recognize the fact that the administration before, and the one before it, and the one before it, and the one before it, and before it, never did anything about this. So this isn't one political party or the other. It's a culmination of everyone worked together to silence these women and protect Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal. And this is not just rich, powerful people. Think his drivers, his maids, his chefs, all the people, people that worked in his home, security guards. I heard one story from a young woman that was being raped by Jeffrey Epstein when he was out on work release while he was serving time in prison and had an ankle monitor on his leg. Guess what? There was a police officer outside that door. So this list of names is quite a list of names, and it doesn't extend just in the rich, powerful circles. It extends down to the very bottom where people were paid. And again, I will say this, there's victims suffering today in similar circumstances, and they're terrified to name the names of the people that are currently abusing them. And so with these brave, courageous...
She just said law enforcement in Florida is on Epstein's payroll.
Women fighting this fight. This is a fight for women and children and any person that is facing sexual abuse and rape and captivity and human trafficking right now. And so here's what I ask you in the press. Don't go for salacious headlines. Go for the truth and defend these women and help those of us in Congress that are crossing our political party lines for doing the right thing and trying to do it together. And thank you, Roe, and thank you, Thomas. And yes. Now I recognize Margaret Thomas.
Well, there's three branches of government, and we're supposed to keep each other accountable. And that's what we're doing here today in the People's House. We're standing in front of the People's House with real people, not a hoax. And they've told their story. We wanted to give them a platform to speak, and they've had it. They stepped up, and they were brave. But I also today hope that they would persuade my colleagues to join this effort. But I found out something today that happened that I wasn't expecting. They persuaded me to fight even harder. I'm not going to give up. And I want to end with this call to action. First, a call to action to my colleagues, who just an hour before this press conference were prepared. They were given a fig leaf. We'll put a resolution on the floor so that you can say that you voted to protect the survivors. The resolution doesn't really do anything. And that's the oldest trick in the swamp. When you want to kill the momentum, when you want to kill initiative, you introduce a placebo, a different bill that does nothing, and then try to pull the wool over the eyes of the American people. That's not going to happen this time. We demand real accountability. I encourage my colleagues, please. There's over 200 Republicans who have not signed this discharge petition. We only need 2 of them to sign it, and every Democrat will sign it, and that will get us the number we need to force this vote.
200 Democrats.
Not a polite request to the DOJ to police themselves. No, we need legally binding legislation to force that to happen. And my main call to action is to the people watching these live feeds that are going through these cameras right now. Congressmen, listen to you. Light up their phones. Burn down the phone lines here in Washington, D.C. Ask them the questions that these survivors wanted you to ask them. Why won't you be for transparency? Don't accept their answer that the bill has a flaw or that the survivors don't want it. We know that's not true. They wouldn't be fighting it so hard in this town if it wasn't the real bill. So with that, please call your congressman. Tell him or her to get on this bill and to stand up for these survivors. Thank you and God bless.
You know, it's pretty sad when you got to sign a bill or pass a bill to get the truth out.
There shouldn't be a bill.
No.
That needs to come out.
Yeah. Somebody's not doing their job at the DOJ.
You know what will happen with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Here goes the Q&A. Here we go.
Look, I've got $2 million of ads running against me back in my district, and it's funded by 3 billionaires. One of them's in Epstein's blackmail. I mean, this is what happens. Your consultants, your political consultants will abandon you when the White House gets mad at you. The speaker will block all of your bills. They'll shut down your fundraising. This isn't political, but it is. I mean, the opposition to this is very political.
What's your impression of what's the president of the White House seeming to whip against this vote so actively?
I have no idea why they're doing it, other than I do believe they're trying to protect some people who are rich and powerful and connected, like Republican donors.
Well, let's Speaker Johnson, his efforts as well.
He's just doing what the White House is telling him, frankly. He was for transparency for about 24 hours, and then he got tuned up by the White House.
Have you had a chance to look at the Barack emails that were leaked over the last week?
I saw some of those.
And Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with the app known as Carbine, which is currently rolled out in 23 states across the United States.
Yep.
I'm not that familiar with that. I'm spending most of my time trying to pour through the 35,000 pages that were released yesterday, and what I found out are pages completely redacted, entire flight logs completely redacted. So this is a non-release, and the danger that Republicans are running, particularly the administration right now, is recreating the debacle that the Attorney General Bondi had when she gave out the binders. And then everybody took them home and found out it was information they already had. What we need from this oversight committee investigation are criminal referrals. Otherwise, it's just an exercise in paperwork.
What is in the voters essentially that you are not backing down and this issue is not going away?
I'm not backing down. I will not back down. These survivors have convinced me that to do everything that I can. I mean, I think I already am, but I can probably think of some more things to do after
But
this.
if you don't have 2 more votes from your Republican college in the end of the day, so what makes?
Well, it's not the end of the day.
So if you don't
Well, procedurally, what happens is this discharge petition remains active until the end of Congress. So for 14 more months, we'll be waiting for 2 signatures unless we get them today. And so the Republicans are better to just pull off the Band-Aid and have this vote. It then would go to the Senate, and the Senate has to vote on this. And so those are the next steps. But I
just want to make note. He said 14 more months, so they're kicking the can
Unless
still.
they sign today.
Unless they sign today, which they're not. So expect more theater from the Trump administration.
I think what's going to happen is that the fig leaf that the speaker has offered my colleagues on my side of the aisle is going to shrink up and go away. And then they will be exposed, as was the case with the phase 1 binders that the DOJ released. And the outrage will be even greater because they've raised expectations, not among those of us who know that this is not going to reveal anything helpful, but they've raised expectations, and then they're going to not deliver anything, and that's very dangerous.
What is your message to Republicans who might be wavering on signing this?
Well, my message is it's an opportunity. Once we get 2 more signatures, we're not collecting more signatures. So be one of those 2 that are on the right side of history, because once we get the 2, the door gets closed, and it will proceed to a vote, and then you'll be back into one of 435.
Have there been Republicans in the Senate that have expressed support to you, even just in the lead up to it potentially going to the Senate?
Yes, I think Senator Markey was working on a companion legislation.
And any Republicans who expressed support in the Senate?
Not that I know of yet. So that would be, if people are working on a second call to action, it would be, what are you doing in the Senate? We've got this going in the House. Where's the activity in the Senate?
Why do you think the administration is putting this out there that this could be a hostile act?
Well, they've dug in. They decided they don't want it released. So it's a threat. It's a political threat. I think it's also an insult. I mean, was this a hostile action for these survivors to come and testify at the House of Representatives? Is it a hostile action that 3 women co-sponsored this legislation on the Republican side? Why is the White House trying to bully women in Congress who are trying to protect women who are just regular people who haven't been hurt? That's a question that needs to be asked. And finally, where are the men? We're the men on the Republican side of the aisle. They need to step up and just basically tell the White House, look, I support your ideology at the White House, but on this issue, you're wrong. 80% of the base, 80% of the people who elected Donald Trump want these files released, and the other 20% aren't paying attention to the issue. So it's the right thing policy-wise, and it's the right thing political-wise. They just have to disassociate themselves from the few billionaire donors that they feel indebted to.
Are you personally worried at all by the White House's threats against you or Representative Mark or
No, I'm the threat that's already happened. I mean, they're already running $2 million of ads against me. It's 3 billionaires, 2 hedge fund managers. One of them is in Epstein's Black Book.
Who are these billionaires?
John Paulson is one of them. Paul Singer is another, and Miriam Adelson is the other. But the one who's in Epstein's Black Book is John Paulson.
What conversations did you have?
And by the way, those are max donors to the Speaker of the House. They're max donors to the NRCC. They're max donors to the RNC. They're max donors to Trump's campaign. These are 7- and 8-figure donors, and those are among the people who don't want these files released.
So what conversations have you been having with your colleagues to try to convince them to back this bill, especially with the Speaker, criticizing the language? He's called this inartfully drafted. He's raised some specific criticism.
What's interesting is the Speaker calls it inartfully drafted, but my staff and I were honored that he lifted 3 entire pages without changing the punctuation from my draft and put it in his draft. It was very carefully drafted in consultation with the parliamentarian, with the Ledge Council, the nonpartisan group here in Congress, and among my staff. So it's most of my effort has been in basically dispelling the lies that the Speaker has been compelled to tell about the legislation. One of those lies is he says this would endanger the victims and the survivors. Well, they just all raised their hand and said they support the legislation. So hopefully we've at least dispelled that for my colleagues. And I've also warned my colleagues, they're inside of a bubble right now. Eventually they got to go home and be accountable to their people. Their people are going to watch this press conference today. Their people are going to go through the 34,000 individual pages that were released last night, and they're going to find there's one real effort, and then there is another effort that's managed by the White House. The DOJ released to the Oversight Committee is completely managed by the White House. It's not like they refused to give over the documents they were subpoenaed and the Oversight Committee went and seized those documents. No, they said, listen, that subpoena is not necessary. Here, why don't we give you some documents? We'll make the redactions we want to make, and that subpoena will be unnecessary. That's what's happening. It's a negotiated exchange.
Why is there resistance from the White House?
Why
is there so much resistance from the White House?
I just think it's a lot of politically connected donors. And then also maybe Acosta, who was the one who originally gave a light sentence or was involved in that.
So we're dropping names right there.
And what did they mess with the video?
3 big donors that are attacking the people that want the Epstein list released.
Right.
It's all party. Even Mike Johnson's taking money.
Yeah,
Trump administration's taking money.
They need to not wait for a bill. They need to come out.
Up to Jeffrey Epstein, which allowed him to continue these crimes.
One of the speaker's arguments has been that your resolution will force the release of names of people in the file who might not have been, associated with the wrongdoing, but they could just be tangentially related, and then they're in the public sphere being associated with this, and then you're kind of wrapping them up as the innocent.
So we need to release all the names, and I think the American people can figure out which of those names were part of Epstein's scholarship fund and which were a part of Epstein's sex ring.
Do you have the members in mind who could be the Republicans you need to sign this?
I have 210 members.
Everyone's on the team.
You're live on an X space, right?
Do you feel like you're David versus Goliath right now?
It's not an unfamiliar position to me. I have climbed these stairs over here more than once and been the only person. I've been against the White House before and survived. Then they passed the CARES Act and they said, we're not going to even come to Washington, D.C. to vote on it. I came here and forced them all to show up. I said, you're going to cause massive inflation with this bill. You're going to wreck our economy. They did that. But I forced them to come here. I've been in this position before. I've been fighting with Ro Khanna before, together, on the same fights to try and expose the wars that didn't need to be started and wars that needed to be ended. And we're familiar with the parliamentary tricks that they use here. I've served on the Rules Committee. I am familiar with the trickery that they're engaged in today with the resolution on the floor of the House that came out of the Rules Committee that gives them the fig leaf. And watch for one other trick. If we get to 218 signatures, they may try to change the rules of the House of Representatives that day so that discharge petitions are no longer allowed from Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna. They can do that, but they have to get 218 votes to do it. That would become the vote of record to hide the Epstein files.
Mr. Messi, how many Republicans are on board now?
There are 4, myself and 3 Republican women. I want to know where the men are.
Not enough. Do you have hope that it will be enough?
We need 2 more. I'm hopeful there'll be enough.
Are you arranged to make the men kind of bailing on this? Before recess, you guys had about 10, and now it's the dudes.
I think the women are more brave in the face of the White House. And look at who the women are. They're supporters of Donald Trump. Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This isn't political. I know some Democrats are trying to make it political and some Republicans are trying to make it political. Our base and even the Democrat base are all in the same place on this. This might not be the biggest issue in America right now, but it is the issue everybody can agree on.
One of these victims today, I think it was Miss Davis, said that Bill Clinton was in Africa with him, traveling with him. Don't you think that Republicans really should be for this to get the truth?
Honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be embarrassed. Half on both sides of the aisle, powerful political figures will be embarrassed, but that's not a reason to not do this. Is to avoid embarrassment for somebody. And again, I don't think Jeffrey Epstein was particularly partisan in his sex ring and all of the malfeasance that he committed and that friends. It's basically a group of people that don't need to belong to a party because they don't report to the law when they do things.
Are you arranging for the victims to speak with some of the holdouts on the Republican side and maybe convince them to sign petitions?
I'm not arranging that. There's at least one member of Congress who's asked to speak with them.
Representative Massey, I have 185,000 libraries right now. What is the one thing, if they only had a minute of their day today, what's the most effective thing they could do to help move the needle for you guys? I'm getting these last two signatures to the discharge petition.
I would say call your congressman if he or she is a Republican. If your congressman is already on the bill, don't make the phone call. But that's what we need. And if you're looking for people who might be persuadable, I think they're all persuadable. Also, look at the 10 Republicans who co-sponsored the legislation who haven't yet signed it. They must be under immense pressure from the White House not to sign this. They need to hear from their voters, not from other people outside of their district, only the people who can vote for them. People like, don't say I'll never vote for you again if you don't do this. And just get a few friends to make those phone calls. And don't give up. But it's going to take persistence.
Does it feel like standing up against the president?
Does it feel like
standing up against President Trump doing this?
Not to me, but the attorney here said that they just want the president to adopt the position he had 9 years ago. I just want him to adopt the position he had 9 months ago, which was his attorney general and vice president said that we need a full release of it, and that there was material.
You haven't been pressured to drop this.
I'm under there are $2 million of ads being run against me from $1 million at a time from now until next May, when my next election is. But that's okay. By the way, the survivors face far more pressure and far worse consequences than any politician up here. Nobody should be afraid to stand up for these survivors because they've gone through so much. It's petty to think that we're being punished politically for this.
Congressman, just a quick question.
That almost every member of Congress has been supported by AIPAC. All the members that do not support the bill, will you support an independent movement to kick them out of office to replace Congress?
Which was the question there? I don't support kicking all of my colleagues out of Congress.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You don't? I do.
Yeah.
You're going to have to quit with this theater bullshit.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to go to, since it's giving me issues here, we're going to go to.
Well, this sounds like the Reagan male prostitute scandal, right?
Right.
They were going to.
I do support.
Nothing ever came out of it.
Them doing the right thing. It's not always about getting the right person.
It's like, hey, I closed that already. All right, so we got
elected.
Shouldn't be there. I agree with Don Jr. Show us all the Epstein client list now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question daily, and the answer becomes very apparent. Don Jr., July 8, 2023. Mm-hmm. They got everybody to go out, run out and vote for them, didn't they? And then day one, nothing. So this was the energy when the fake Biden was in the office and they were running that, but it's not the same energy now. He's saying it's a liberal thing. They're making it seem like that everyone's going after Trump. It's about the victims. Stop bringing Trump into the thing unless he's on the list. It's not about Trump. It's about justice and showing that this country has still has some kind of morality left in them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
A spiritual compass? No. Yeah, so we go to Reagan. So this has been taking place for a while.
The last one. I
The
just
last
sent
one.
you.
Okay.
Hold on, there it goes. It was. It shows all the articles. This is archived. Yeah. It was supposed to be. It says the bombshell that didn't explode. It was a big scandal of male prostitution with Bush and Reagan. Sounds kind of like similar, right? Never became nothing.
Here we go. Right here. Here's some of those scandals. Homosexual prostitution inquiry ensnares VIPs with Reagan and Bush. Call boys took midnight tour.
Wait a minute. Reagan was a different guy after the shooting, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was a young Republican. I was out on the streets knocking on doors to help get Reagan elected the first time. Lived in California. I was sold out, man. I thought Reagan was the guy. He was completely different after the Hinckley incident. And so, is this before or after? Because I think he was like clone replaced, or
June
29 him. Or
this was in '89, right?
So,
1989.
So that's right around the shooting time, isn't it? I mean, I'm trying to.
Oh, when Jeb Bush shot him. I mean, you talk about when Jeb Bush shot Reagan.
Yeah, thank you. When John Hinckley Jr. used the most improper loads and the stupidest gun on the street, obviously it was a replacement strategy because Reagan is trying to do a lot of the stuff that Nixon tried to do, that Kennedy tried to do, that Jackson tried to do.
Yeah.
All those guys have something in common. Nixon was not shot physically, but he was politically assassinated. And Watergate was really about child files. So if you want to dive into that rabbit hole, but I hear you. I was just from a historical standpoint that the shell game of information has been going on.
Yep.
A very long time. So
yes, sir. That's the point we're trying to make here. So
Reagan was shot March 30th, 1981.
Oh, damn. That's right at the beginning almost.
Yeah.
They didn't give him no time.
No.
Bush was like, you got to go. We're going to get rid of you. Like, oh, and they told Bush, hey, Bush, you're going to have to chill out, man. They're going to catch on to this shit. We already covered your ass in Dallas.
Right. But that one, they have even receipts on that one.
So this is a call boy ring.
Yeah.
This isn't so these are boys.
Mm-hmm.
These are kids.
Yes.
Not men.
Yeah, there was reports of even the Secret Service testified that they saw them going into the White House in the middle of the night, right? And nothing came of it.
Yeah.
See the receipts.
The what? Here is the Los Angeles Times. Apparently, the DC has a gay history. U.S. prostitution scandal, Washington, D.C. You have Agent Scour, 1989, July 7th. Agent Scour White House guards home, figure in male prostitution linked to late night tours. So Obama wasn't the first one to have a sausage party.
No.
I mean, a hot dog party. And I'm sure that wasn't Monica Lewinsky wasn't the one that was caught with Bill Clinton at the White House. I'm sure that was a cover.
Better watch it, sheepdog. You don't want to get kicked off the tube now.
That's right.
Oh, damn. So allegedly,
if you go too far, you get Arkancited. So
that's what they were saying was probably going to happen to those 10 women that just stood up and bravely shared their story. We just seen what happened to Virginia Guthrie, the 13-year-old girl that was working at Mar-a-Lago at the spa, and then
in Australia, all the way in Australia. Oh my gosh, she spoke up and she put out a letter that said, "I'm not going to suicide myself." 10 days later, she was dead. Is that right?
Yeah, that means that's what it means. Quite the opposite of apparently they want us to think that's what that means. Yeah, it seems like everybody that makes that comment, they kind of know, or they've been warned, so they know that they're being targeted, right?
Yeah, so that was just a reminder that these things come up and nothing comes of it, right? So we got to not let that
manage your expectations, like Mike said.
Right.
But that's just going to piss the people off, and midterm elections are going to be. Oh, at midterms they want to put ICE agents outside
if they're even doing that, that's totally crazy.
Right. But here we go with everything's coming into alignment in September, right? We got the blood moon September 7th. We got the solar eclipse coming up on September 21st and fall equinox September 23rd. This is when the sun comes back down towards the equator, and this is when it starts falling below. So this is what. So Mike Johnson gets big donations from the Epstein's clients, as per Thomas Massey. But right here they're saying White House says helping me secure a vote to release all the Epstein files is a hostile act. They're threatening anyone who helps bring true transparency and justice for survivors. This is a tacit admission. The Oversight Committee data release is woefully incomplete. And here it is right here. In response to Massey's comments, a White House official told NBC News in an email, helping Thomas Massey and liberal Democrats with their attention-seeking, while the DOJ is fully supporting a more comprehensive file release effort from the Oversight Committee, would be viewed as a very hostile act to the administration because we're all protecting pedophiles.
Was that your imitation of Walter Cronkite? That was really good.
Yeah, I was thinking when I read, I need to be more like, the old school 1960s, 1970s reporter, kind of like that comedy where
Courage. Do with that. The courage.
Yeah, that was a day when that was a day when we had. I'm sorry. That was a day when we had newscasters that we didn't know which political side they were on.
So
exactly.
Was it Walter Cronkite or Dan? Was it Cronkite or Rather who used to end the show every night with, "And that's the way it is."
Yep.
And that's the way it is.
And on the other side, Saturday Night Live would do a skit with Jane and Dan Aykroyd, and it was point counterpoint. And Dan Aykroyd's response to Jane every time was, no matter what she said, "Jane, you ignorant slut." So, I missed point counterpoint. It was great theater. So my point is that the MSM is just, look, I trust the Hoff. He's never been untrue to us. He was canceled with an OJ run. But anybody else in the mainstream media, and he did Baywatch, which was just good, clean fun.
Baywatch.
So we had Crash Patel today on a drug bust, and then we had Jeanine Pirro on a drug bust. Damn, what are the odds of that?
And no word about.
So Jeanine Pirro, the reality TV judge, is here in Pasadena, Texas, and she found some chemicals that are neatly packed in a warehouse. Really, really nice. I've never seen such neatly packed warehouse before of chemicals that make drugs in my life. But they found it in Pasadena, which is known as the chemical plant alley of our state. It smells like, we call it Stinkadena because of the chemicals in that area. And also in the ship channel, we have, that's where you're going to have your gun trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking taking place.
Yep.
And Pasadena is along that ship channel heading out to Galveston. So that's where Jeanine Pirro was today, talking about finding some drugs from the Sinaloa cartel in Pasadena, Texas. Well, how the hell did it get in Pasadena? Who produced it? All right, so we got FBI Director Crash Patel announcing indictments in international drug conspiracy. So they're like, Epstein, what? What? Epstein, what? They're doing what? Let's go. Drug bust. Hurry. We got a drug bust. We got chemicals we found. Fentanyl, Chinese. Hurry. Distract. It's all theater bullshit. It's never ending.
And what was the only station that didn't cover that today?
Well, RSBN and Fox were up Trump's ass.
They didn't cover
no.
The victims, right?
No, they were up in the White House, like I said, smelling Trump's ass. So RSBN is bought and paid for. But AIPAC violates FARA, F-A-R-A, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, the highest national security risk. That's your national security risk, and you're interfering in elections when all your politicians are bought and paid for by a foreign nation with dual citizenship, dual loyalty. So we're going to have to get into Article 2, Section 4, an impeachment of all the treasonous traitors.
Right.
And
I don't see them doing anything.
No, I don't see none. They're playing.
I think
They're playing
military
bullshit.
might have to get involved, right?
So some people said that's probably why they had the National Guard in D.C. over the last few days. What else? But there's a lot coming out. But during these times, we want to, and those women, you got to go hear the testimonies, and not just them, but all the women that had died in the past, trying to get justice.
Allie Carter, there's many.
Yeah, Allie Carter's one.
And then the ones that you haven't heard of.
Right. So with
the
that being
unknown voices.
So with that being said, we're going to need.
Is Allie Carter
it brings
dead?
up a lot of trauma.
Is Allie
No.
Carter dead?
No.
Did they?
Well, she was.
Oh, thank you. I love her stuff,
You
man.
brought up, I was talking about dead people, and you brought up Allie Carter.
Oh, sorry.
So a lot of women are it's bringing up a lot of trauma from the past that we haven't yet healed from, and until we get justice for these women, you're not going to get any kind of healing in this nation at all. And until that happens, it's going to be business as usual. But so it's very important for us to support this and ask for transparency from the most transparent administration in American history. Bullshit. So with that being said, that's why
do you know why we're going to get more disclosure, Sheepdog? Because it's a trans word. It's a trans word. We're supposed to be transparent, transhuman, transgender.
Transformer.
Oh, transformer. Can I be the Camaro? Can I be the Camaro?
No.
Okay, Hasselhoff. I thought you don't drive a Camaro, or do you?
You're in the Gremlin.
Was a Knight Rider the Camaro?
I'm in.
No, the Knight Rider was a Firebird Trans Am.
Oh, was it?
It was a Trans Am, and it was a one-off. Dude, I would have killed 25 somethings to get Kit when I was 16 years old. I'm telling you, I love that show. Oh, wait, it had the Hoff. So I digress. So I think the theme through Sheepdog's presentation here is that there's two ways to deal with a bully, and the MSM is a bully. It's a bully. You either ignore him, laugh at him, or kick him as hard as you can. And I think we're doing all those things at one swift kick here, right? We're bringing information and trying to bring some humor. Either way. Diana, what do you think?
I think that we all are going to need to heal from all this. And I think that's going to be the important part about what's going to happen next. Whatever comes out. I've been watching social media all day, and there's one side saying, look, there was a flyover and Trump did this so that the people couldn't talk. And, the flyover was for the Polish president. And I mean, it's just a myriad of people throwing things against the wall to see what people will believe and what will stick. But at the end of the day, we're going to need to heal from this.
Well, how do we do that?
Well, once it all comes out, we're going to have to love people through the process. And I really always believe that no matter what comes out, and it's going to be left, right, everybody. We all know there are so many players in this evilness that's going on in the world. I think that I go back thinking about my mom and dad, and they're both passed, and I'm almost happy they're not here, because my poor mother could not handle this. She would be in tears daily over hearing about this kind of evil and this kind of stuff that's going on. And I think that we have an obligation, all of us, the people that are here, that are working this incredible movement that the sheepdogs and Gandalph and all of you are like helping to carry on in Mike Penny's name. I think that we're all just going to have to love people through the process at the end of it. I don't think we have any other choice.
Definitely.
I think that if we were to get Earth back into its original frequency, that the frequency would heal us all.
Yeah, yeah. And we're going to pivot and talk a little bit about how animals play into this. And I think this is a like really good segue, if that's okay with you, Sheepdog.
Yes, man. We were talking about that earlier today, about how pets can be healing and like a service dog,
therapeutic.
Yeah. It's especially with the horses, like that trauma. So that's
the biofuel of an equine is 5 times that of a human. They can sense your heartbeat when you're 20 feet away. I deal with big animals every single day, and Prince and Sally. I love Prince and Sally. Sally is a great listener when you have a carrot or a. What's my favorite horse treat that you send me, Diana?
The mush ponies.
Snuggle, the horse treats.
The mush ponies.
Mush ponies, that's them. I go through them too fast. Well, Prince is fat. My 14-year-old mule is actually fat. So I'm sort of blaming that on the mush ponies. Maybe I'm feeding him too many. How many mush ponies should a horse get every day?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to turn it over to Kim in a second. But, I had a woman come and knock on my door the other day, and she told me that her 30-year-old horse was not eating anything and had failed a neurological exam, and 2 different vets had said, look, it's time. And she was devastated. And I gave her a bag of mush ponies, and she said the horse isn't eating anything. She took the mush ponies down to the horse, and she videoed and sent me a video of the horse gobbling them down. It didn't change that this horse has lived its time and is ready to go on to the next event that is in store for him. But what she said was, I watched him enjoy something in the end. So that made me feel good. So I'm going to turn it over to Kim. Kim's going to get this thing started, and I'm going to talk about the healing of animals.
Yay. Okay. So again, we appreciate this platform so much. Thank you all, sheepdogs. And we are very excited to be on with you all. I am Kim, and I have...
Will mushrooms cure dementia and bladder problems?
I've been a member of the community for many years and look forward to all that we are going to learn and accomplish together. Thank you all so much. We'll be in the Telegram room as Nature Girl. And a quick note about Mike's mushroom link. We have changed that to the Mike Penny Legacy.com. And so anybody that has ordered from there can still order from there, and it will benefit the pennies. And Mr. and Miss Sheepdog also have a link, and it is the sheepdogspets.com. And if you have any questions there, you can certainly email us at sheepdogspets@gmail.com. And I'm going to turn it over to Diana in a sec. And she is one of the mushroom ladies. She is certified in holistic pet care, pet and human CBD. She is also certified in pet nutrition. And before she speaks, talking about pets and how much they help, I have been petless, dogless, for about 10 years. And I've had a cat, but I'm dedicated to dogs. But um, anyway, I have been going through some really bad depression over the last several years. And I kept thinking, well, you've been talking about getting another dog, and now you're pushing mushrooms for pets. Don't you think it's about time to get a dog? And so I found my Onyx. It's kind of rescued her, and I swear she has helped me so much. And even my friends have said, Kim, I think that this is your therapy dog. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I have to get out and take her for a walk. And so we've been going for a morning walk and an evening walk. And just got back from the lake. We took her to the lake and we went camping for a couple days. And I even got out on a paddleboard, and she was on it with me, and she absolutely loves it. And so we're just thrilled. And anyway, now I'm going to turn it over to you, Diana, and tell us, how does ordering mushrooms and mushroom therapy from the sheepdogs help benefit the community?
Well, before I say that, Kim, I saw pictures of you today with that dog, and I've known you for a little over 2 years. I've never seen you look so happy and calm and fulfilled. Like it was like, yay, look at her go. The only thing we need to do now is teach your dog how to paddle. So he was sitting there like the prince, and you're paddling away. I'm going to answer this question first. Will mushrooms cure dementia and bladder problems? First of all, it doesn't cure anything. It doesn't treat anything. It doesn't heal anything. It is a God-given food that literally supports the immune system. The immune system is what is so magnificent, created by God, created perfectly. But all of us know our immune systems have been compromised. And in the case of bladder issues and dementia, I really do recommend lion's mane mushroom. We're seeing some amazing things happening with that. Amazing things happening with lion's mane. The medical world has actually linked the immune system with the brain. And that's a huge thing to admit. Now we know that people with Parkinson's, dementia, neuropathy can actually support that with the lion's mane mushroom. Our Clarity product, which is in the blue bottle, will help. But, I just kind of want to touch on this. The amazing people like the sheepdogs and GANDALPH and people who have their platforms, they are giving of themselves to this community, to the world, to help us all. And it's not entertainment, it's education. And in some cases, when I talk to some of the people that are listening to these podcasters, it's their only source of information. And really what happens to me when I hear people talk about it is I say, we have to support these people. Whatever we can do to support them is so important. So yes, ordering from sheepdogspets.com, ordering from GANDALPHpets.com, this helps to support these podcasters who give of themselves selflessly to us. The amount of research that goes into doing these shows, these podcasts, it's a lot of work. Why are we giving our money to the big box stores? Why are we giving our money to other countries when we can find things that are great for our animals and support these platforms? So I'm going to share some testimonials, and I'm going to share some really cool information about how our animals can help us heal and help the world to heal. Like GANDALPH said, that the ability of these animals to sense things are absolutely amazing. And they provide unconditional emotional support. They increase social interaction. They help us by you, Kim, exactly. You're out walking every day. You never did that before. So it is important that we understand that animals can trigger like a neurotransmitter, and serotonin and dopamine. They can lower our blood pressure. They can create a sense of purpose. I have a
cortisol. Cortisol
yeah,
is in there
exactly,
too.
100%.
Cortisol. Yeah, and cortisol is is an inflammatory engager,
Yeah.
and cortisol engagement and mushroom engagement is like a rope. I mean,
Yes, and
a lot of people, you know, my audience traditionally is women over 50. Cortisol is big.
100%. And you know, one of the things that we see, I have a couple of fantastic testimonials I want to share. You know, there's a well-known story that goes around about a cat in a hospital that would go from room to room to room and would go and sit on the bed of someone who was going to pass that night. And everybody was like, nobody wanted the cat in their room because they was like, oh God, here comes the cat, right? But that's how intuitive these animals are. And I know the sheepdogs did some great videos a few weeks ago about this. So we really, really love when we hear about some of the things the animals can do. So let me share a couple of stories. We bought a dog. Not because we wanted something else to do, but because we had my husband's 95-year-old father living with us. He had dementia severely. He did not know who we were by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He also had to be catheterized 4 times a day. And when my husband would catheterize them, it got pretty ugly because he couldn't understand why somebody was doing this to him. We bought him a dog because he kept saying he wanted a dog. Up until the day that man passed, that dog was the only thing he knew and understood. And he would say, has somebody fed Cody? Is Cody been fed? And Cody was so in tune with him. Cody would sleep with us, not with Wild Bill. We called him Wild Bill. Wild Bill would sleep in his bedroom. But when something didn't go right, like if Wild Bill was stirring or uncomfortable and needed to get up, Cody would wake us to let us know to go in there. That's how in tune that dog was. And when Wild Bill passed, it was kind of sad. He passed in our home. Emergency vehicle came, the EMTs, all of that. My brother-in-law locked Cody in a bedroom. When it was all over with and the coroner had come and took Mr. Ryan away, we let Cody out, and Cody walked to the spot where Wild Bill passed away. He wouldn't have known that. There's no way he would have known that. Sat there and looked up. And that was proof to us. These animals know everything. So what can these animals do? First of all, they can be assistants in therapy, which is pretty cool. When an animal can help you with your therapy, i.e. walking, i.e. Providing comfort, lowering your blood pressure, like GANDALPH said. I sat in a restaurant one day next to a man. I did not know that he had severe diabetes. And I was sitting next to him. We were kind of in the corner. There was about 30 of us in this big group. And a woman came in with a big Belgian Malinois Shepherd dog. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this dog became very disruptive, pushing through people, pushing under the table, almost scary, right? Got right next to me, worked its way up, put its paws on the man next to me. And the woman looked over and she said, "Sir, are you okay?" And he goes, "Well, I've had a couple martinis and I didn't eat." What I didn't know is this man was a very, very sensitive diabetic. This dog was trained to recognize diabetes distress. This man was getting ready to go into a major medical event. And if it hadn't been for this dog and the intensity that the dog took to get to this person, that tells you everything. So these animals can help with PTSD recovery. They can help identify and get you through chronic illness. When I was dealing with cancer, and my story is pretty powerful, I had cancer, and this mushroom, the Coriellus versicolor, which the next time we're on, we're going to deep dive into this mushroom. I'm going to have Kristen on with us, and Kristen is a mycologist. And GANDALPH, I think you're going to have a lot of fun talking with Kristen, because I know you know a lot about this too. But I laid in bed a lot. I wasn't 100%. I did really well considering that I was going through chemotherapy and I was going through the things I was going through. But my pup never left my side. Now, this is Wild Bill's dog, who after he died became our dog. He loves my husband more than life. He only comes to mommy when he's scared or in trouble. Other than that, he's with my husband. But during the time I was laying in bed and I was recovering after a chemo treatment, this dog never left my side. This is what they do. They understand dementia. They understand diabetes. They understand so many things. Pets can also help in development of children. They help them with their social skills. How many times have you opened up like social media and you've seen a dog bringing its puppy to a baby and laying on the bed with them, like embracing the two babies, the human baby and the dog baby? You know, we see this so many times, and it just, when I think about, and I'll digress a little bit, I think about these women who have gone through what they've gone through with trafficking, and we all know Miss Kristen shared her story about what almost happened to her. I think about they need to heal. And my first thought is they need an animal. They need an animal because they do give you a sense of purpose. An animal, caring for an animal, it creates a sense of responsibility, routine. Routine is really important. A reason to get up in the morning and get going and doing things. And that's one of the things that animals do for us. Yes, they're a huge responsibility, but they also increase our physical activity. They encourage us to walk, to play. Like today, you were out on a board. I haven't seen you ever do that. And you're out today pedaling away with the dog sitting up on the front of the board. That's so cool because it helps with your cardiovascular health. It helps with your overall everything. And the other thing is medication. We've seen that individuals with an animal can reduce their levels of medication. I mean, this is crazy, amazing stuff that we never ever really understood. We also understand that animals give us unconditional love. I mean, Gandalph, I've talked to you a few times, and it's always, I got to get out and take care of the critters. You've got critters you've got to take care of. And this non-judgmental presence that they have that just shows us about unconditional love is something so exciting and something that relieves anxiety, relieves depression without medication. I mean, we're a world that everybody pops a pill, pop a pill. You know what? Get a dog, get a horse, get a goat, you know, because believe me, you're going to feel a whole lot better when you have that. And they also reduce stress. They reduce so many things that are happening because they actually lower our blood pressure and increase the good pheromones, and they improve our mood. And so what we want to do and what we love doing with what we're sharing here is mushroom therapy for animals and for people. This is our motto: every pet, every person, every day. If we can get an animal to feel better naturally, to have its immune system work in a way that we can't even imagine it ever could work because it's been compromised, then we've won. And this is a battle. We're in a battle. We're in a battle to do what's right for our animals and for our people. If I hadn't known about this, and when I was diagnosed with cancer, if I had just gone the traditional route, I'm not real sure that I would be here today. I don't know. I mean, I can't say what would have happened or what wouldn't have happened. But what I know is that I took a mushroom created by God. I took this mushroom for 30 days and I went into full remission. And I have been working with people for 3 years now, and I've watched this happen. Again, it's not a treatment. It's not a cure. We can't heal anything, but something that comes from the world below us, something that is so magnificently created and perfectly created, can support our immune systems. I can't say much about that, much else. All I can say is that I feel blessed that we're a part of this. I feel blessed that the sheepdogs and Gandalph have joined in our mission. Mike, taught me so much. And when I first talked to him about what we were doing, I'll never forget his words. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm in. We got to shout this from the rooftop. And you guys have provided us with an incredible platform, and we appreciate that so much. I don't want to take a lot of time. You guys have done a great job of teaching us tonight about some of the things that are going on. But in closing, I just want you to know that we're here to help our animals live longer. We're here to help people live longer. Oh my gosh, a hard time swallowing pills. I was the same way. The capsules, the enforced, you can open them and put them. I think I invented mushroom coffee. I really do. I have a mushroom cup because I can't swallow pills either. So I literally took those capsules, opened them, and put them in my coffee every morning and put them in hot water every night. But our mission is every pet, every person, every day. And we just encourage all of you, support this platform, support what the sheepdogs are doing, support what Gandalph is doing. Sheepdog, did I understand you were able to try our blueberry crumble amazing coffee?
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah. My wife was like impressed with the first sip. She's like, oh my God, you got to try this.
It's crazy, right? I mean, like we think, oh, I know coffee. And then when you have coffee that's organic, that's real, we're the only country that accepts rejected coffee beans from other countries. Think about that. Coffee has so much fungicides, mildicides, pesticides, rocks, sticks, stones, bugs. It's disgusting. But when you've had really good, organic, clean coffee, it's like, and then it's topped off with the Corellus versicolor mushroom, which helps too. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
And then I stirred it with the deer antler.
Yeah, but it also, what it does is it's not acidic. A lot of times people will say, oh, I can't drink coffee because it's, acidic. It's not acidic because it's so pure and so clean. But, one of these months, I'm going to be able to afford to get some mushroom coffee. Okay, so Mickey Mimu, I have to tell you something. I thought the same thing when I first looked at how expensive the coffees can be. And then I realized that I would rather have 1 cup of phenomenal coffee than 3 cups of chemicals and toxins and all of that. So someone had put a comment up there that please call me. I have cancer. Oh my gosh. Okay. Please email me at sheepdogspets@gmail.com and we will set up a time to talk. I am more than happy to chat with anyone who's going through cancer. My story is not unlike anybody else's. I know what they're feeling. I know that their mind is overwhelmed with everybody throwing, try this, stand on your head, do this. I get it. I would love to chat with them and at least be able to help them and be supportive to them. I do a thing called chemo care containers where I send out boxes filled with all kinds of wonderful things to help them get through the process. So please email me. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you guys. I appreciate you. Kim and I both love being here. And next time we're here, it looks like Miss Kristen will join us. And we're excited about that. So, yeah. So thank you so much for this ability to share what we're doing and try to get some people out there to get their animals on mushroom therapy and get their people on mushroom therapy so they can take better care of their animals.
Yes.
Well, I've got a pet story that I'd like to share. My wife Bird was home. This has been it's been a while that she was home recovering from surgery. We had a little solid white Shih Tzu. And when she would fall asleep on the couch, he would go get all of his toys and he would create a ring around her head. Because that's where she had the surgery, was on her head. And he was putting some kind of his I called it his ring of protection around her head while she was sleeping.
That warms my heart, but it doesn't surprise me. They just know.
They just know.
Yeah, they just know. And they know what we need. I remember one time being very upset about something. I don't even remember what it was. It was so trivial, but I was crying. And I had a cat. And cat walked up to me and started licking away my tears. And I'll never forget thinking, oh, what a stupid thing to be crying over. And here's this amazing cat licking away my tears, right?
Wow.
Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
I have a friend named Brian. I'd like to share your information with him at another level.
Please.
He's a very good friend of mine. You know, I don't have a lot of people that have put up with me for 35 years. He's one of them. And he's in his third round of this big C crap. And he knows that I am an online conspiracy theorist, homeopathic guy. So he doesn't listen to me. But he might listen to you. And I don't care who he listens to, just like all of our messages. That someone has the right voice. That's why I love this panel so much. But I
would love to talk with him. I would love.
Thank you for the news. I will share your information with him.
Please have him text me, and we'll reach out and we'll chat. You know,
Roger that.
We all need to understand that when someone is told that they have the big C or their animal has the big C, I mean, we hear that all the time. Everything starts flowing through their head. I remember thinking, how sick am I going to get? Can we afford this? What's going to happen to my husband? Are we going to lose our house? How skinny am I going to get? I mean, all these things. How much am I going to throw? I mean, all these things went through my head. And then everyone I knew started throwing. Take this, do this, try this, try this, try this. And then you just shut down. You just shut down because you can't handle anymore. And so I speak the language. I understand. I've been there. And if I can share with them what we know, and when usually the words that get most people in the right place is that in Japan, this is an approved protocol for what you're dealing with. It isn't here, but it is there. What have you got to lose, right? What have you got to lose?
Well, hold on. It's not just that. It's not just that, okay? So let's say that I'm a human who has achieved Chicklandia and moved to the country and gotten away from the EMF, and they aren't suffering from the maladies the doctor tells them about because hopefully they've stopped going to the doctor.
Yeah.
So this is also a great preventative regimen, right?
Oh my gosh.
Will you talk about that before you depart us here? I know you're short. Talk about prevention for a second, because that's really a huge point.
It's a huge point. And I'm going to back up for two things: animal prevention, human prevention. A lot of times people will say to me, oh, I got a new puppy and he's so cute, he's so young and he's so healthy, and I don't need anything because he's just a little puppy. Well, that puppy has to go from 0 to everything in 18 months. It has to build every bone, every ligament, every piece of hair, every organ. Why not give that animal a good foundation by helping it do it right? But now we go to people. I have some of the most incredible stories of people who started on mushroom therapy. They were healthy. They were fine. And one guy, Chris, he went on a mission with like 25 other people. He's 67, 68 years old. He was doing mushroom therapy for about a year. They go over to Peru. There's a whole bunch of them. Everybody gets sick except him. Everybody. They come back. They're here. They're going to go on another mission in 6 months. He buys the Coriellus versicolor mushroom for every single member of the mission group. And all of them were mostly, 50 plus years old, some as old as 70. And every single one of them went on a regimen, 3 months of this before they went. Not one got sick when all the other mission groups got sick. It's just when your immune system is given what it needs to do its God-given job, because we've compromised it. We've compromised it with the chemtrails, with the food that we're eating, with the environment. Our poor animals have their little noses in the ground where they're just sucking up Roundup. If we can just help people to get that immune system to where it's working properly, it is a huge preventative. I have been 5 years, 6 months free of the big C. I have not had a cold. I have not had the flu. I have not had COVID. I have not had bronchitis, which I used to get every single year. I take 3 a day. That's all that I do. My husband, who's 75, does a huge Christmas display we're called the Boulder City Christmas House. The Christmas House, if you ever want to like Google it, that's us. He works harder than most 40 and 50 years old. And I'm going to say something. He literally, yes, the 80% of our DNA with mushrooms. Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes. But my husband has not had a cold, the flu. This during COVID, when everybody was, sick, and my husband was the one going to the grocery store for everyone in the neighborhood. And he was the oldest guy there, going to the grocery store, coming back, giving everybody their groceries because they were afraid to go out or they were too sick to go out. He never caught anything. And I know it's because he had given his immune system the support that it needs to do the job it was intended to do. So you are 100% right. It is about prevention. It is about us being proactive instead of reactive.
So would you say this is also a detox regimen? Would that be a correct statement?
Okay, so yeah, we've had some amazing stories. We have a little girl who was going through a lot of, she was a little tiny thing. She was probably 8, 9, 10 years old, and she had a bloated belly, and they had tried quite a few things and they really weren't sure what was going on. And we started her on the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. Remember, it's just a food. It's just the mushroom, has no medical interactions, will not affect anything you're currently taking if you're taking something. Well, this little girl took 3 a day. She was about 100 pounds. That was a little bit more than the dosage. Dosage is usually 1 per 50 pounds. After 3 days, she had a couple of pretty serious bowel movements, and she was feeling a little better. But then her mother actually looked and saw parasites. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the body has the ability to get rid of foreign invaders. We know that. And if you can just give the immune system the support that it needs, yes, you can actually detox. You can actually make everything right again. Again, this is not a cure. It doesn't heal anything. It just makes everything right. Does that make sense?
Well, cure, treat, heal. That's not what we're saying out loud.
No.
So that this detox, there's a lot of people out there looking for detox. And I agree with you from a homeopathic standpoint that this is a component of that process. And it's easy to take, it's easy to buy, and it's easy to get.
Right.
I so much appreciate your drive. I love you guys as a partner. This is such an important message.
It is an important message, but it's also next time we're on, we're going to really dive deep into the strain and how important it is that you get the proper strain. This is like how I like to equate it. There is such a thing as gas station sushi. We've all seen it. There are sushi places in gas stations, but I'm not going there. It's the same thing with something like the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. There are 200 strains of this. There are strains that are good. There are strains that are not so good. There are strains where they have just dealt with, let's just harvest it when it's fully fruited and it's the most abundant, it's the easiest to pick and grab. That's not what we do. We harvest it down in the mycelium state. We harvest it when it has the most potency. And again, next time we're on, I'm going to go into the superior bioavailability. I'm going to go into the optimum nutritional profile of the mushroom that we work with. There's 200 strains of the Coriellus versicolor mushroom. So it is important that you watch that you don't get a bargain basement brand. We have a great story, Harold, and I'll finish with this. Harold, I love Harold. I met Harold about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and then Harold, he was in his early 90s then. Then he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and his PSA numbers had gone through the roof, and we started him on mushroom therapy. And the Chihuahua, I love it. We started him on mushroom therapy, and his numbers evened out, and he was doing really well. And 2 years went by, and then all of a sudden in December, I noticed that his name wasn't on my order sheet. And I thought, I hope Harold didn't pass because he was in his mid-90s. So I contacted his wife, found out that Harold got lazy, and he didn't like being on the Smart Ship program because he's kind of old school. He had forgot to order, and he went to a big box store and saw that they had turkey tail, and he purchased it and he started taking it. Well, 3 months later, his numbers skyrocketed. That was because he didn't have a great strain. He immediately went back on our product, and I saw him July 4th. He looked fabulous. His numbers are back down. But again, you get what you pay for, and you have to make sure that you're trusting the efficacy of a company that's providing you with a product, especially when your health is at risk, right? Yeah. So that's my story, and I'm excited to be here. And thank you guys again for the opportunity. I loved everything, Sheepdog, that you shared in the beginning. I mean, I think we're up against some crazy information getting ready to be released. I hope. And I think that, as a nation, we're going to have to heal, and let's just all grab our pets and hold on to them because they're going to help us through it, right?
Absolutely.
This is I got a testimony and then a question. I'll lead off with the question first. Is it okay for Sheepdog to eat the mush ponies? Or the chill doggies? Can he have
I've
those?
already sent him an email on the chill doggies.
The chill doggies. Damn it, you beat me to it. Damn it.
Okay, so the chill doggies are the only product I have not tried yet. I have eaten every single product, and let me tell you,
good.
I ate the super sauce. I mean, if it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for my animal.
This is Epstein level disclosure. Yeah. Diana is on the dog food list. Oh my God. This was not on my bingo card.
Well, I wasn't going to give it to my pup if I couldn't eat it. That's how pure and ethical our company is about what we made. If it's not good enough for us, it's not good enough for them. Now, I don't, like I said, I haven't tried the chill doggies yet. I'm going to have to do that. I am going to have to do that. Have you tried it, really, Kim? No.
Did I just peer pressure?
I just tried a little
Diana
piece of
it. Did we just brother-in-law peer pressure Diana into trying the chill doggies? Great job, Durendal. Great work, brother.
Yeah, the veterinarian that designed them for us, Dr. Sally Lane, she's a holistic vet, and she's amazing, and she's been working on this formula for a while for us, and we are now working on coming out with one for cats because we've had so many people tell us that they've got a wild child cat and they really could use something like this. This is absolutely the chill doggies you should not give to your cat because it has catnip in it. It's just going to amp them up. So we're going to work on that.
All right, now I'll wrap up with a testimony. Everybody on this panel knows that I've been fighting with a health quote unquote concern. I'm on my third week of the mushrooms and the mushroom coffee. And I will tell you this, my energy, and I've changed my diet to a point, but my energy level has been off the chain to the point where I'm pushing 60 and I'm playing softball with a bunch of kids that are in their late 30s, early 40s. And my boys have seen me on video and they're like, dude, other than the long gray hair, we're impressed with the way you're playing. So I will say, going on my third week, I'm feeling pretty damn good.
Yay! Thank you for that. And that's not unusual. That's not unusual. Usually it's because your body feels better, but also you're getting better, sounder sleep, which most people don't really realize that they're sleeping better. And when you sleep better, everything repairs and replenishes while you're asleep. So yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for that. Yay.
But I will keep everybody else up to date. But I think things are going well. I feel pretty good, and we're going to be going on a trip here in about 45, 50 days. That I'm really going to have to step up my game. But I will keep everybody in. But right now, the coffee is fantastic. I feel like I've dropped probably 6 or 7 pounds in the last 15 days. But things are well. Even my wife has noticed that I'm not dozing off as much, and I'm doing pretty good. But I just want to give that little update, little testimony how I'm doing.
And it's not surprising to us. My husband and I sometimes, and Kim and I have had this conversation, we get these phone calls of people going, oh my gosh, look, this is happening. And we found ourselves after being involved with this for 8 years. We just expect it. We just expect it. And that's crazy. So yeah, everybody take care of yourself. And we're excited to be here. And we can't wait to be back in a couple weeks.
Can't wait to have you back in a couple of weeks. Gracie wants to thank you for the deer antlers as well. I got it for Buddy, but she
took it.
She's taking control over. She's not on it right now, so
Good.
she loves it.
All the minerals are going into her body. She obviously needed it. That's why she took it.
Yeah, but they all love the antler. So we greatly appreciate the recommendation on the antler, because my dog, my oldest, was chewing on rocks and stuff. I didn't understand what was going on.
Yep.
So that
yeah,
antler helps.
they can swallow those rocks. Next thing you know, you've got a rock in the intestines, and that's a whole other story. Yeah.
So this is the Chihuahua, who I've been putting her the little, what's the Chihuahua mix called? This is Divot.
Oh, I'm seeing her behind the chat. Oh, hi, sweetie.
Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong spot.
Oh, hello, baby.
Here she
is. Oh, Chihuahuas rule the roost. That's for certain.
Yes, they do. They rule the roost. So she appreciates that. I found another bag of the whatever the Chihuahua product is. I can't remember.
Yeah, the super sauce. The super sauce usually for the Chihuahua. Yeah. Pretty amazing. The special sauce is amazing for those little breeds.
Oh, yeah, my dogs love it.
Yeah, it's really good for them too. So awesome. Well, thank you again. We'll let you all go. It's been a long night full of great information. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I got a little piece here for Gandalph Eggstein, because we're talking about spiritual animals. Normally we bring a cat or a dog or a horse, but tonight we're going to bring a chicken.
Here we go.
It's only 3 minutes, and then we'll close out.
I sent that video to you.
I have 5 of that breed. I think I have 5.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I got 30 total. I think I have 5 of those. Yeah.
Give that chicken some mojos. I'll stick them in the mail to you. It's going to really help that chicken. They're going to love it.
I look forward to every package you send me, Diana. Thank you.
Spiritual meaning. Chicken symbolism. Chickens have rich spiritual symbolism across various cultures, often representing protection, motherhood, and new beginnings. They are seen as messengers between the physical and spiritual realms, with their eggs symbolizing growth and transformation in life's cycle. In different cultures, chickens are powerful symbols of intuition and nourishment. They are known for their strong parental instincts and sixth sense, often considered spiritual guides. Their symbolism connects deeply with our souls, embodying both positive and negative omens. Red chickens symbolize power, passion, and courage in many cultures. They are viewed as harbingers of good luck, offering protection and guiding individuals toward new opportunities and spiritual growth, especially in Chinese mythology, where they are linked to prosperity. White chickens symbolize purity, peace, and spiritual enlightenment. They are believed to bring clarity and calmness, guiding individuals toward spiritual rebirth and new ideas. They play central roles in ancient rituals, representing peace and spiritual growth. Brown chickens connect individuals to the earth, fostering a sense of belonging and spiritual abundance. In Native American culture, they are part of rituals like chicken dances, reminding us to stay grounded and focus on fulfilling our spiritual needs. Chickens in our lives symbolize intuition, instinct, and community. As spiritual totems, they guide us to trust our intuition and seek new ideas. Throughout history, they have been seen as signs of both good and bad fortune. A chicken crossing your path is a spiritual message signaling new opportunities and growth. It encourages embracing change and trusting the timing of new beginnings, serving as a guide towards spiritual prosperity and self-awareness. When a chicken comes to your house, it symbolizes new beginnings and good luck. It signifies spiritual protection and fertility, reminding us to create a nurturing environment and welcome opportunities in our daily lives. Chickens hold diverse symbolism across cultures and religions. In ancient Rome, they represented fertility and prosperity, while in Christianity, they symbolize rebirth and spiritual nourishment, highlighting their deep-rooted spiritual significance through history. Chickens are seen as symbols of fertility and abundance, embodying spiritual nourishment and new beginnings. They encourage embracing fertility and prosperity, serving as powerful representations of both positive and negative spiritual aspects. In ancient cultures, chickens symbolized fertility, prosperity, and new beginnings. They were used to predict outcomes and support decision-making, playing roles in folklore, superstitions, and spiritual practices, highlighting their spiritual importance. In the Bible, chickens symbolize spiritual nourishment and rebirth. Associated with stories of Jesus, they guide individuals to trust intuition and find spiritual meaning in life, embodying themes of intuition and abundance. Incorporating chicken symbolism into spiritual practices allows connection with the spiritual realm and invites prosperity. Meditating on chicken symbolism enhances intuition and spiritual power, while aiding in decision-making aligned with personal desires. Chickens in spiritual traditions signify divine connections. Used in ceremonies worldwide, they symbolize new beginnings and fertility. Their inclusion in rituals underscores their parental instincts and sixth sense, essential for spiritual communication. Stay tuned for further detail.
So we talk about the biblical side of it. The rooster crowed 3 times, right?
Yep.
You say right here the chicken dance is part of the marriage ritual in many southern states. Yep. Can someone
do it?
Anybody know how to do the chicken dance?
Yo, dude, you got to cue up the video. You got to cue it up.
Oh, I know how to do the chicken dance. I've been a professional chicken dancer since way back in the day.
No.
Do. Oh yeah, I know it by heart.
It's real big at baseball games. Real big at baseball games.
Also at microbrew festivals.
There you go. We're gonna have to videotape it, sister.
Yep.
The chicken dance is like the lead in to 20 commercials you can do, like dun 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 dun. I'm loving it. Everyone I know is dancing.
Dun 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 dun.
You queuing it up, sheepdog? You looking for it? Chicken dance.
You're gonna have to pull it. I don't have.
I'm trying to find it, but your phone.
Can we banter about this question for just a moment? I thought this was pretty witty.
And on YouTube.
Okay.
As long as I don't get a strike for the chicken dance, I'll be good.
Are you talking about the rooster song?
No, we're talking about the chicken dance.
It's the chicken polka, I think they call it.
Okay. Go to YouTube.
Oh,
yeah.
Herc wins Jeopardy. It is chicken polka.
Oh.
I was a
DJ. We're going to do the chicken dance all the way. We're going to do the chicken dance.
I DJ'd in the 80s for weddings.
Feel free to turn your camera on and dance if you'd like for the audience. That'd be awesome.
Found it?
People might pay to see that.
The pattern is full. Sorry.
Here's a chicken dance.
I have, let's see, it looks like I have a 50-second one. If I can get that over to you.
We'll 50-second it out. Apparently they had a chicken dance wedding, according to my research.
Let me make sure this is the thing.
You got it, sister? You got it queued up?
I'm sure the Guinness Book of World Records has a notation of the largest chicken dance wedding ever.
Let me make sure it's the right thing.
Yeah. I was trying to pull it up, but all my devices are crawling like a snail.
I got it. Hang on. I got it coming up.
We've been working on pulling it up for about 10 minutes.
I'm in the middle of an ad.
You know, Durandal becoming an actual producer and something to tell us.
Yeah, that was enough.
Okay, I do have to say this. That's a real Polish kind of deal right there.
We're not talking sausages tonight.
No.
Did you hear about?
Whoa.
Did you hear about the Polish terrorist that burned his lips on the tailpipe? He was trying to make a car bomb.
Oh.
The chicken polka dance is in celebration of the Polish president being in our country.
Yeah.
Look what cheating said.
Bunch of retards.
I got hairy eggs that turn blonde in the sun.
You can. So I'm not a retard. I'm a three-tard. Don't go long or go home, baby. That's all I'm saying. And I love the fact that Durando pulled a baseball reference for the chicken dance. The chicken dance is a wedding thing or the seventh inning stretch, and you picked the baseball thing
or a microbrew festival thing.
Isn't that the same thing? Seventh inning stretch, wedding isn't the same thing in Polish?
Oh no, the seventh inning stretch is the divorce lawyer, not the first inning.
Okay, we digress. Take it away, sheepdog.
Can Hercules close us in prayer for closing sheep? Is that okay?
Here we go.
Okay.
Herc, you're up. You're up, Herc.
All right.
Drop it like it's hot.
Lord, we just want to thank you for bringing us all together today, and for the mushroom mush puppy ladies coming on to the show, and to help not only the animals of Earth, but also the people of Earth as well, with their knowledge. And please just watch over everybody, help guide us into this next chapter of whatever is coming. We're in for it. And please bless all of the people that have joined us here today, listening, watching, and continue to bless our lives in ways that are unexpected. Provide those miracles. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Love and light and knowledge. Until we're going to have a chat in the morning, Coffee with the Dogs on Telegram. We're going to be trying to go in live on Facebook and other platforms as well. Look forward to seeing you guys in a few hours. God bless all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, pet ladies. Mushroom ladies. I had to switch your name up there.